my goodness, we are back. This is really exciting, Leanne, to have you here with us at the start of Global Bookkeeping Week.
It is.
And to hear about all the initiatives that MYOB is doing and also that you've done over the years in your bookkeeping business. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people with a bunch of questions, hopefully. Otherwise, we will just talk. Otherwise, we will just talk and communicate and kick off this week. So one thing Leanne and I were talking about was actually how did Global Bookkeeping Week start? And I did a quick Google, and it did start back in 2015 to celebrate bookkeepers and raise the profile of the profession. And Gary Carter, who is ICB president and co-founder, kicked that off. And he also did a whole 24-hour global webinar in London back in 2018, which 24 hours of this would have been insane.
Yeah, so what we did with the I was working at ICB at the time, and what we did with the 24-hour one was we went around the world. So it wasn't actually just in London doing the 24 hours. We went over to New Zealand for part of that time, and we were in Australia for part of that time, and we were in the UK for part of that time. And we ran webinars and talked to bookkeepers and talked to industry professionals and things like that, and it was just 24 hours on air. And it was a pretty long 24 hours, I have to tell you. So, yeah, but it was great to be able to, there was overlap and talking and all of that sort of thing. So it was great to be able to do that, actually. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what an experience to have been a part of actually doing that in that 24 hours as well.
Yeah. Well, International Accountants Day is on Wednesday, so I think it wraps around that whole profession nicely, and it's a time to reflect and hopefully that it lifts the profile of our profession, because in Australia it's still quite a young profession, really, and across New Zealand as well. New Zealand are now recognised as certified bookkeepers through Inland Revenue, I believe. So,
amazing.
It's lifting our profile and it's reflecting. Yeah. And I think no more than the last 2 years have we seen the impact of bookkeepers on small and micro businesses around Australia and New Zealand, with helping their clients to, survive. Really, and understanding legislation that came out around all the job keepers, seekers, savers, whatever the programs were, and grants for small business, and understanding how it all impacted on their customers and their clients. So, and I heard a lot of bookkeepers, including myself. I had some clients that were really struggling, that I didn't charge, but still kept my service levels up for them. And I heard that from a number of colleagues and bookkeepers around, especially Australia at that time. So that just shows you, the passion as bookkeepers we have to ensure that our clients keep succeeding.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Because it was really such a, I guess you call it a cottage industry, like going way back.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it was very much something that a lot of women saw as an entryway back into some sort of career pathway after having children. So, they had been accounts people or accounts receivable or payroll officers or whatever. And it was a really easy way to transition back into the workforce and still have that balance between being available for children and school pickups and canteen and being able to be flexible. And I think that's the beauty of our profession, is that you can work as little or as much as you want as a professional bookkeeper in our space and service your clients in unique ways. And I think, again, over the last 2 years in our profession, we've seen the increase in digital transformation, especially where you can work anywhere. I mean, I've worked all over the world servicing my clients. March last year, I was running payrolls in the middle of the North Sea, heading up to Norway to photograph the Northern Lights, and I've been fortunate enough to have so many opportunities come my way from being a bookkeeper as well.
Yeah, that is amazing. And it is, I think I saw someone put a post up on Twitter maybe recently, and they said something along the lines of, if in the last 2 years a business has not adopted any form of digitalization or change, they're not going to,
Yeah,
because it's just been forced upon everybody in
yeah,
such a strong way.
yeah.
Um,
It's been interesting to watch our profession pivot to that as
yeah.
well. From going, I think we as bookkeepers were more easily able to pivot than a lot of accountancy firms were, because accountancy firms were still relying on servers in the back office and things like that. So, for bookkeepers, I think it was a much easier transition.
Mhm.
And I found I had a lot of on-site clients before COVID, and now I'm fully remote. So I don't
Amazing.
see clients at all. And, I think it's been the era of Zoom,
Yes.
the era of TeamViewer, those sort
Uh-huh.
of tools that allow us still to connect with our clients and connect with our colleagues and do these sorts of things, has been really interesting, and seeing the level of skill of our community grow as well. And the confidence, I think, has been another thing that I've seen grow
Yeah.
over the last couple of years, is the confidence. But along with that, I see exhaustion. I see a
Mhm.
lot of exhaustion in our community across Australia and New Zealand, talking to MYOB partners.
Yeah.
They're all just really tired, because if you think last year, a lot of us in Australia didn't have a break because of JobKeeper, and we had to be, servicing our clients for JobKeeper. So I'm hoping that this Christmas, our community says, that's it, I'm at least taking a week's break over Christmas and just recharge their batteries, ready for, I'm hoping, an exciting 2022, when things don't get back to normal, but we can start to live our lives again with a lot more freedom.
Exactly. And the new normal, essentially, I'm guessing. And not
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But
yeah.
I've also been excited to watch my clients and the way they've embraced, servicing their clients online,
Yeah.
pivoting to e-commerce solutions, pivoting to online ordering systems for my hospitality. And, I'm really proud of my clients as well. I'm so, most of my clients are still, I've had a couple of changes of business over the end of the financial year, but all of my clients are still operational, which is really pleasing to see, because not only do they service their clients, they've also got staff. So they're servicing, they're looking after their staff, and in turn looking after their staff's families, their own families, and their communities. Being in regional New
Mm.
South Wales, the regional impact of this has been quite significant as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people aren't talking about. They're not sharing, and we should be celebrating, like, the amount of businesses through this time they've managed to keep going, and they've managed to pivot. They've put their staff first. They've kept the business relationships, and looked at how they can minimize expenses and maximize opportunity at the same time.
Oh,
It's been
absolutely.
incredible.
Yeah, resilience and tenacity, I think,
Yeah.
are key words, not only for our community, but also
Mm.
for small businesses across Australia and New Zealand as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And what exciting things has MYOB got planned coming up in the
Well, at MYOB, we recognise and value the importance of our bookkeeping community, and we've got strong relationships with the bookkeeping community going back 30 years. So,
Mm.
where we wanted to round out the week of Global Bookkeeping Week with a celebration of our community, both accountants and bookkeepers, but particularly our bookkeeping community, being Global Bookkeepers Week. So all through the week, we've got, look out for some videos on social. We've got some very
Mhm.
humorous videos around the value of bookkeepers coming out on social around Australia and New Zealand. And we're having a big event on Friday afternoon to celebrate our bookkeeping community. So it's just a lot of fun. We've got Dave Hughesy from Australia, and
Oh,
Michelle
cool.
Court from New Zealand, topping and tailing. So I get the pleasure of interviewing both of them and talking about their experiences through COVID. And we're talking to bookkeepers across Australia and New Zealand. And I'm joined by our industry partners, ICB Australia,
Cool.
ICNZB, and the Australian Bookkeepers Network. So I'll have the key people from those organisations joining me on a panel to talk about bookkeepers and to talk about the future of bookkeeping and to celebrate our community. And we've got lots of great prizes to give away, and quizzes and a Spotify channel called Bookkeepers Bangers that we're going to raise up. So it should be a great afternoon, just an hour of celebration to round out the week.
Amazing. That's going to be
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
It's because it has been, oh my goodness, for all businesses, it's such a huge journey.
Yeah.
And I just love that this initiative was started, because there's been so much change in this industry over, like, I look back to when I first moved to Australia in 2011 and started working with Xero, and nobody was on any kind of cloud, anything. I don't even think there was internet banking back then.
Yeah, I mean, Australia and New Zealand really lead the way in those
Yeah.
kind of technologies. We're far in front of places like the US, who still, make their own checks and things like that. So we are leaders in that small business financial management space around the world, and people look to Australia and New Zealand to see what they're doing. We also have so much legislation. I mean, not only GST legislation across the both countries, but also, complex HR law. Thinking about New Zealand, I remember sitting in at the ICB conference, the ICNZB conference a couple of years ago, sitting in on the new payroll, the new annual leave legislation, and thinking, oh my goodness, I thought Australia was bad. I thought there's no way I could get my head around this. So,
No.
all hats off to you that bookkeepers are actually interpreting and enforcing those legislations for their clients as well, and helping them to navigate those waters, because a lot of clients, they don't go into their businesses to do the books. They go into their businesses because they've got a passion. And one of the things we always see, and evidence points to that as well, is that any business that engages with a professional bookkeeper will be more successful than those that don't. And one of the other things we see is those in a startup space that have somebody as a professional bookkeeper helping them to set up and understand their business. I mean, one of the things I talk to my clients about that are new clients is, where do you want to be in 5 years? So what technologies do we need to support that 5-year journey? So it's not about looking at, those financial management tools as a cost to the business. It's actually looking at them as an investment to the business. So really, your bookkeeper and whatever they do for you is an investment in your business, not an expense to your business.
That is an amazing way to put it. And
Yeah.
we all know that.
Well, we do. Yeah. But often it's very hard for clients to understand that, because all they see is the expense of it. But,
Yes.
it's much easier to get everything set up to start with than to be 12 months down the track, not having lodged, financial returns that you need to, not having paid staff correctly, and have a huge amount of money to correct all that. So an investment at the start will stop the bleeding of money when things don't go right.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
And how do you it's always been a tough one for a lot of people to navigate, is that accountant bookkeeper relationship. And so I think it's really cool that these two are celebrated in the same week.
Yeah, I think that's cool as well. And look, I think it's about understanding the line in the sand, if you like, of when I get a new client, if they're not with an accountant I already work with, I reach out to the accountant to have a chat to them, and see how we're going to work together, introduce myself, and just have a nice chat and set up that relationship. Everything is about relationships, Anna. And if you haven't got the relationships, then you're not going to be successful. So, making sure that you understand and reaching out and knowing where the line in the sand is, knowing what your role and responsibility is, and also educating your clients around what that role and responsibility is. Because at the end of the day, we work for the client. So the client is always at the center of a relationship, and understanding that you don't own their business, that it is their business, and they need to be able to make the decisions, and they need to be working with advisors that are helping them, not fighting amongst themselves.
Yes.
So it's really important.
That is so true. And I had a question.
It's Monday morning, darling.
I know. It floated and it was on this topic. Do you find that there's still a lot of people who are afraid to have that conversation? with.
Yeah, look, and experience. I mean, it's great having 25 years experience under my belt working in this space. But when I look back to when I first started, it was about building a business. So every
Mm,
client was a client that I wanted to hold on to. And you do those things, and you kind of become, or you are a little bit meek in that relationship, because you fear that if you do something that offends the client will walk.
yeah.
So it's about having the confidence. I found out very quickly that it was about educating my clients. So
Mm,
arming them with the information, asking them what they wanted to do, educating them on how to enter their data. All of that sort
mm,
of thing gave them the power. And they then, it built that trusted relationship quite quickly.
yeah.
And then, it was often that I would say, right, let's teach you how to use MYOB. And they would, do it for maybe 3 months and go, no, I don't want to do this. This is all too hard. And so, they pull it back onto me. So as soon as I learned to let go, that was when I became
Yes.
more successful, and not fear losing a client either, because I've found over the years when one door, and I've had some significant doors close. I've had eggs in one basket and had
Mm-hmm.
significant doors close and go, oh my God. And, Friday nights I had 3 staff early on in my business, and it was like Friday night, there'd be no money in the bank, and I'd be thinking, how am I going to pay my staff on Monday? And by Monday morning, the money was in the bank, or I'd be on the phone with clients getting money in and things like that. But um, doors open, and
Yeah.
that's the best advice. Don't be scared, and don't be scared to let go of clients that don't meet your vision for your business or your ethics in your business either. I think that's really important. But I think the big lesson is, don't have a fear of letting go, because there's always business around the
Yeah.
corner, and there's always doors that will open to you to other opportunities. So it's really, they're lessons that take a long time to learn. But for new bookkeepers entering our industry, you've got to have confidence, and you've got to, in a lot of ways, fake it till you make it sometimes.
So
But you
true.
will get there. Yeah. And it's small steps, and it's understanding, and it's reaching out. It's having, the professional associations, make sure you join a professional association, whether it
Mm,
be ICNZB or ICB or ABN in Australia. Because they are our professional association. They are giving us resources and tools and education and CPE opportunities and networking opportunities and
mhm,
conferences to be able to meet people and to develop relationships and go to network meetings or coffee clubs or regional meetings and things like that, because that's where you meet other people who know the same things that you're going through as well.
mm,
It was interesting, early on in my career, as a single mum with a small daughter. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and then my late husband joined me, and we had a great business, and now I'm on my own again. So, through those peaks and troughs, it was about, we've got relationships all around Australia, all around the world in the
yeah.
bookkeeping profession. And I can go to, most cities in Australia and be able to meet a bookkeeper that I know and things like that. So we are a very collaborative
Mhm.
community as well, which I think it's one of the few communities in business I see that are so collaborative and so supportive and willing to give of their knowledge freely and raise each other up.
Mm, I couldn't agree more, and that's something that actually has fascinated me over the years, is how much everybody is so supportive and non-compete
Yeah,
amongst each other.
yeah,
People will support and join or step up if someone needs help, if there's an illness, if there's something, anything.
yeah,
They'll
that's
just
right.
step up. It's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Yeah, we are a very collaborative community, and we're all looking. Our primary aim is to help our businesses succeed.
Yeah.
So, for everyone from our professional associations through to our software vendors,
Mhm.
through to us delivering services to our clients, have one aim, and that is to help our clients succeed in business. So, I love being a part of this profession, and I'm very proud of the work I've been able to do in this profession.
Mhm.
And, joining MYO MYOB in the last 4 months has been
Yeah.
quite a life change for me as well. So
Yeah.
still having my business of 50 clients, employing staff again for the first time in 15 years.
Wow.
It's big changes for me, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving working with MYOB, supporting our bookkeeping and accounting partners around Australia and
Yeah.
New Zealand. It's an exciting time to be joining them and working through with them, and their focus is definitely on helping partners succeed.
Oh, that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
so you've taken on a team member.
I know. So I've taken on one and I'm recruiting for another at the same time.
Wow.
So yes, so it was something I always said after having staff, I'd never go back to having staff again. But opportunities knock, and you've
Yeah.
always got to be open to those opportunities. And when I saw this role and read it, it was like it had been written for me, and it was
Yeah.
time. It was time for a change for me. I'd been doing a lot of different things, and it was time for a change and a focus, and also setting myself up for retirement. I turned 58 a couple of weeks ago, so it's time to set myself up for retirement, although I don't think I'll ever retire from this
No.
industry. But it
No.
was just time for a change. And I saw this and I saw the need to be able to support partners better in that software environment. And so, you know what they say, you can sit on the sidelines and heckle all you like, or you can get in and rumble in the scrum. So I've got in to rumble in
Exactly.
the scrum.
Oh, that must have been a massive change. And to have
Yeah,
two sort of polar opposite opportunities
yeah.
going on, like running the business and the clients, and then that corporate.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think the whole thing
Growth.
is there at no time did I ever think about giving up my business, and I think
Yeah.
one of the things that I thought of is if I'm going to be helping partners, I still need to be experiencing what partners are experiencing. So
Yeah.
I've got 50 plus clients, keeps me quite busy,
Yes.
and I couldn't have done that by myself working inside MYOB. So it's time to have a team around me as well. So yeah, it's exciting times.
That's really
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
Oh my
and
goodness.
yeah, look, and I think one of the things that our profession's missed out on in the last 2 years, because we are such a collaborative and
Yeah.
family, if you like, is
Mm.
that face to face, and it looks like by February, March next year we'll be getting back on the road to have some face to face events with not only our industry partners but perhaps with MYOB as well. And I think
Yeah.
getting that human touch again is really important. I think that's something our community has missed out on in the last couple of years. Is that even though we've had lots of events and we've
Yeah.
been exposed to Zoom, I think people are quite tired of
Tired.
that Zoom environment, the Zoom fatigue. And I think getting back and celebrating, I know we had the opportunity with ICB to get back on the road before COVID hit this year, and I was lucky enough to go up the east coast of Australia and see our bookkeepers, and that was fantastic. And it was definitely a message that we heard loud and clear, is that they love that face-to-face
Yeah.
contact, an opportunity to network, an opportunity to sit and talk with other people
Mhm.
that know what they're going through, and get ideas as well, and see what other people are doing, and see what they could pivot to in their business as well.
Well, exactly, 'cause the health of everybody. I mean, I know myself, I've had to put some, things in place.
Yeah,
So, for example, I have just had this realization over the weekend. I'm like, I always used to go to the gym in the morning, and I switched it to going at after work. But if I go in the morning, I don't if I go after work, I don't actually see anybody at
yep,
all until 5:30 PM at night.
yep,
So at least if I switch it and I switch up that routine and go at 6 AM in the morning, I'm seeing people and maybe popping off and getting a coffee, coming back, having breakfast, getting into work. But I've had a people dose, and I
yes.
need that.
Yeah, yep,
Like,
it's so true. I had a girlfriend visit
yeah,
on the weekend for the first time since June. I saw her, and it was just a lovely weekend. We didn't do much. We sat around, we had a couple of drinks, and we chatted and planned a couple of holidays. But it was just nice to have that interaction. So I'm really looking forward to getting back on the road, coming over to New Zealand, hopefully at some point next year for one of the conferences, or to see our partners and things like that. So I think it's really, really important. Um, I'm here by myself. I think it's really important to have that human contact, and we're really looking forward to it. So I don't know what's happened to Anna, but I'm here by myself, talking to you. So look, we have got the Global Bookkeeping Week event happening with MYOB at the end of the week, I will get Anna to pop the link for the registration into our chat here. So make sure you come along and join us. As I said, it's an hour of fun, prizes, celebrations, talking to Husey and Michelle McQueen. And I've just been yakking.
Yeah, good. I don't know what happened to our internet.
That's all right, Dad. I held the show for you.
Brilliant.
So I was just talking about the event at the end of the week. It'll be a lovely way to wrap up Global Bookkeeping Week, and I'll send you the link to pop into the chat so people can register. Doesn't matter where you're from, just so long as you're a bookkeeper that wants to spend an hour having a bit of fun, listening to Husey and Michelle Court and talking to our professional associations and some of our bookkeepers, and just having a celebration. Maybe make that an early afternoon, early Friday afternoon. Come along, have a drink, celebrate. You might win a great prize, and let's just close out the week with a lot of fun and celebrate our bookkeepers, because they have been the unsung heroes of business across Australia and New Zealand.
I couldn't agree more. And I think
and around the world probably.
I've just seen so many amazing people back themselves, grow businesses in the last 2 years through what we've been doing, and just taking that chance on, and just taking that chance on themselves, believing themselves.
I mean, the support that you've been giving the community around the world with Bookkeepers Revolution and the programs that you and Mel have been delivering have just been amazing. Watching on the sidelines and watching, the commentary in your groups about people that are succeeding and what they're doing and the support that they've had. It's just heartening. It really is heartening. So congratulations to you guys as well.
Thank you. It's really fun, and it's definitely Mel and my passion is to, and Andrew, to see people succeed and to be there to help them on that direction and help them grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the rest of your guests this week. Who else have you got lined up for the week, Anna?
Oh, we've got some surprises. I've got someone still locking in, but we're finishing up, starting with you in Australia, and we're finishing up with Sue Inkersill from New Zealand, from Third Arm Bookkeeping, and she's amazing. So
she is. She's a great friend. Yeah.
She's awesome. And then we've got a few in between as well. And Mel will be taking the ones for the next 3 days, and I will wrap up with Sue on Friday, which is cool.
Oh, fantastic. Looking forward to watching them.
I know they're going to be fun. So we'll keep, hopefully today I'll have the rest of the guests up in the group.
Fantastic. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. So
we'll
watch out for our videos, and I hope you enjoy those videos. They're a little light-hearted look at bookkeeping, and they'll be playing across Australia and New Zealand around all our social channels. So
they'll be across Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook.
So we've put quite a lot of money behind raising the profile of bookkeepers. And as I said, we love our bookkeepers, and it is a really great time this week to celebrate them. So if you have a bookkeeper or know a bookkeeper, make sure on Wednesday you raise a cup, whether that be filled with tea or coffee or a nice gin and tonic or your favourite nip. Make sure you celebrate your bookkeeper this week, and your accountant too, because they are very important. They're pivotal to the success of your business. And if you're lucky enough to have a wonderful team around you, it's a great time to be able to celebrate them. So, and I know most bookies around Australia and New Zealand love wine, chocolate, massages. It's not hard to pick, let me tell you. We're quite a good bunch at enjoying those things when we get the time to do that as well.
I've had many a good memory over the last 10 years of being at events and celebrating with everybody. So can't wait till I can come back to Australia and go to an event again.
Look, I know it has been touch. I think one of the things we have lost in the last couple of years is that human. Even though I said we've had digital, I think it'll be lovely to get back into our networking groups face to face and being able to celebrate as well. But to all our bookkeepers listening out there, make sure you take some time, celebrate Christmas and celebrate, reflect on what you've done, and you are wonderful, and we love you, and I think you're all incredible.
Yeah, I concur. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I got into the industry all those years ago and have kind of not left
Yeah, I know. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Absolutely like
it.
that, Hannah. It really is. So
It is, which is really cool. Well, we will wrap up and
we will.
I will get all those details from you
I'll
and
send that
share them.
over.
Yeah, cool. And share them into the group so people can register for Friday. For those
Yep.
in the Northern Hemisphere, it will be Thursday for you.
Will,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, just join, come, watch. And Michelle Accord, I've met her in person. She's hilarious. She's,
She's emceed ICNZB's
yes.
bookkeeping conference for the last 2 years, and most bookkeepers tell me she's wonderful. And
Mm.
Husey actually trained as an accountant, which is interesting. So I'll be talking to him about that as well.
Now,
Why
that
he
I
gave
could
it
not
up.
see. I could not see him being an accountant.
Absolutely, but he is quite funny. So, just a bit of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's what we're planning, is to wrap the week up with a celebration and some fun and some great prizes.
Oh, exciting. All
Yes.
right. Well, I will register myself so I can join and
Lovely.
watch.
Excellent.
Cool.
Oh, Anna, it's been lovely to chat to you, to start off Global Bookkeeping Week. I feel so privileged to have been able to start it off with you.
I couldn't have not had you starting it. That's for sure. Well,
Thank you
you for your
so much.
time, and thank you to everybody watching. And if anyone's got any questions, pop them in the comments and we will answer them. So
Lovely. I'll send that link over to you now, darling.
wonderful. Thank you so
Have
much.
a wonderful week.
Yeah. Bye for now,
Racing
guys.
up to you. Bye.